Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Clark and I'm going to chat with you about the EDF 204 Key Assessment. So for the Key Assessment, to find information, you're going to be in your EDF 204 class and you'll need to go to the section that says Major Projects and Key Assessments. For the Key Assessment, which is required to be completed and to earn a passing rubric score in order to be eligible to earn a passing grade in the class, you will upload your key assessment both in Blackboard and in Taskstream. So if you've not used Taskstream before, the information about how to get a Taskstream account is listed here. It is a subscription service, which means you have to pay for it, just like you would your textbooks. And you can access this in one of two ways. You can go to the library and purchase a subscription code there, or you can go to the Taskstream website and purchase through that site. If you have multiple classes in any given semester or year that require you to upload to Taskstream, you're using the same Taskstream account to upload everything. So if you are required to upload for this class and for another one in this semester, you don't have to purchase two separate accounts. The same account will work for you. In this section, you're going to see some key assessment information. It should look similar to what you're seeing right now in this video. There may be more or less links when you look at it. You should also see spots where you can upload each key assessment check-in. So if you're not seeing those, then you'll need to double check and make sure you can see those. Right now in my Blackboard, it's not in the right order. So the check-in number 1 is down here, and the check-ins 2 and 3 are up here. Hopefully, when you watch this video, this is organized so that 1 is first, then 2, and then 3. But the main information about the assignment can be seen right here, and there are some hyperlinks for you to click on. So I'm going to click on those and show you some basic information. The first one that I'm going to show you is actually the assignment description. At this link, you'll also find the rubric. You'll notice in the name for the key assessment, it has multiple classes listed. Our class, an SED class, and an MUS class. The rubric is the same and the assignment description is the same no matter which class you are taking. So the assessment happens prior to your methods, and the purpose of this assignment is for you to demonstrate your ability to use technology across a variety of educational purposes. So as teachers, we use technology to teach or provide instruction, to assess, help collaborate with others, communicate with parents in the community, and to engage students. And so we're looking at your ability to use technology across all of those domains. Within our college, there are many standards that we uphold. And so here's a short list of the standards that we will be using in this key assessment. There's further information about the assignment to walk you through step by step what you're going to do to complete the assignment. You'll want to read those carefully. And I use this as a checklist. So as you're completing each part of the assignment, I usually print this out as a student, and then I would check off as I complete each part. Under the criteria for success, this tells you what you have to do in order to be eligible for a passing score on the rubric and to be eligible for a passing grade in the class. So for this key assessment, you must, down here in the bold, score at least 3 rows in the developing column and emerging in all other rows in order to successfully complete the assignment. If you don't earn that criterion and emerging in a row or developing in at least 3 rows, it will be sent back to you and you will need to redo that part of the assignment. Within this course, you have a few redos that are eligible, 2 exactly, that must be completed if you're required to redo. It has to be completed prior to the end of the semester, before the final exam time is over. Otherwise, you will earn an F in the class. So work closely with your instructor to make sure you're fulfilling all of the requirements. You will receive feedback on each of your submissions, and you'll want to take advantage of that feedback. The rubric can be found at the end of this document, and this is what we'll be scoring you on. You'll notice that as you look across the rubric, you see the categories: emerging, developing, competent, and exemplary, as well as the rubric rows that tell you what the criterion is. So this criteria right here focuses on Intasc Standard 2.2. Each of the rows are based on the Intasc standards, but you'll also see underneath the alignment to other of the standards for which we subscribe in the College of Education. So I'm going to walk you through the first row, and then the other rows you can use that same logic to explain and unpack the row. So here it says the candidate incorporates resources, supports, and/or specialized assistance or services to meet academic learning differences or needs. So in order to earn an emerging, we're expecting you to identify resources or supports for students with learning differences. To earn a developing, you're going to need to describe in instructional plans resources or supports to assist students with learning. To earn a competent, or the target by the time you reach student teaching, you would incorporate resources, supports, and/or specialized assistance or services to meet learning needs. And for exemplary, you're doing more. Note that there's some red notes here that tell you where this indicator is observed in your key assessment, and it says for indicator 2.2, we're going to look for that in the teaching and student engagement sections. So you'll be able to scroll down and look through each row. As you're scrolling down for the rows, you're going to see that there is some bright purple highlighting. This tells you the highest possible column that we feel you can earn. The higher rows beyond that coloring tell you that you are not, in the view of the instructors, able to demonstrate this, whether it's because we haven't taught that content yet or because you're required to do that in a classroom, but you will see those coloring. And the coloring disappeared from this one right here. So I'm going to put that highlighting back in so that you can see that just like you can for all of the others. All right, there we go. So the highest you could possibly earn for row 2.2 is a developing, and you have to score at least an emerging. So that's how you view the rubric. I'm going to go back into Blackboard. You will need to to demonstrate your understanding of the Intasc Standards and the ISTE Standards. I'm going to click on the Intasc Standards and show you what those look like and what you're expected to do with those. You will need to scroll down through the Intasc Standards, and you'll find that the actual standards start on page 16. The other information gives you a nice background, but where you actually find the standards starts on page 16. So when I scroll down to that page, I will see the Intasc Standards, and you are looking for standards that you could demonstrate your understanding as it pertains specifically to technology. So for example, Standard 1 talks about learner development. The teacher understands how learners grow and develop, recognizing that patterns of learning and development vary individually within and across cognitive, linguistic, social, emotional, and physical areas, and designs and implements developmentally appropriate and challenging learning experiences. There are also substandards that talk about performances, essential knowledge, and critical dispositions. As you read through those, I'd recommend you print this out and highlight standards where you're saying, oh yes, in the technology project that I created, my Google Doc, I showed how that I demonstrated how learning occurs, how learners construct knowledge. I did a great job with that. So I demonstrated Intasc Standard 1D. You'll be expected to reflect on the Intasc standards across the main domains of this project. So you want to have an understanding of that. And the same can be applied for your ISTE standards. There is a quick demo video if you need help with the table of contents. I'm going to show you what an exemplar of this project looks like. And our recommendation is that you use this exemplar as your own template. So in order to do that, once it loads, you're going to see that you can go to File and click on either Download As or Make a Copy. We're going to recommend you make a copy because we want you to put this in your Google Drive. You're going to keep making changes to it. And instead of it saying copy of, I'm going to change this and say my name and the semester and the year. And then you can leave the rest of the information there about the key assessment. You're going to want to put that either in the folder that you have for EDF 204, or you could put it just in your drive if you would like. Either way, that is fine. I've got mine in my drive, so I'm going to say okay. So once you've saved your copy, you're going to go in, and this is the exemplar. Now, I want you to notice that this is the template or the exemplar for the entire project. So at each phase, you're only doing small pieces of it, so we are not expecting you to do the entire project at one time, but we'll scaffold it throughout the semester. The first thing you're going to do is change the word student exemplar to your actual name. I'm going to change it to my name. You put your name in there. And then you'll notice that this table of contents is here. Right now we have it set up so the table of contents automatically is generated. So you're not actually going to be typing here, but if you make changes in your document, if you click in front of these words, philosophy of education, and you click the refresh button, it will update the table of contents to make sure it's current if you're asked to add any additional information. So you actually are going to scroll down until you see the section. Right now it's titled Philosophy of Education and Technology Use. In this section, the information here is based on the requirements from the rubric that we looked at originally. And I've given you information, and we've also given you some samples. So for example, in the introduction, the expectation is that you include your personal philosophy of teaching and using technology in education. So I gave you a model that says, my name is Sarah. I am and you list your major there. I would like to teach in, name the school you'd like to teach in, or the type of school, near my hometown. I have a lifeguard certification and have worked at a local daycare. Just something about you to kind of make this personal. The next thing you're going to do is tell your philosophy. In your philosophy, often are statements that begin with something like, I believe that all students can learn and should have access to technology. As you've gone through your Intasc standard, you could say something like Intasc Standard 1 discusses learner development, and I believe technology can be used to enhance student learning. Okay, that's an example, but you want to demonstrate how you're meeting the standards through your philosophy statement. Next, you're going to include your resume, and you'll be creating your resume in one of the modules. So once you create it, we want you to hyperlink it in here. Remember how to get a hyperlink, and if you can't remember, then do a Google search. There's lots of great videos out there. You're going to be creating a parent letter, so eventually you'll hyperlink that in. You'll be making your own teacher web page. Right now we're making a lot of those using Google Sites. So again, you're going to link that website here. And as you go through the semester, you'll continue adding pieces. For each of the check-ins, you're going to be asked to do small pieces. So for example, for the check-in 1, the assignment description there tells you you're doing just the first little part of the assignment. So I'm going to open up this document. It's going to give me the exact requirements. So overall, you'll need to check in the major projects folder and then check for the specific assignment requirements. Once you get the assignment requirements taken care of, and for check-in 1, you're doing the introduction, the parts of the introduction and making sure you link in your teacher webpage, then you're going to go to your key assessment that you created, and you're going to get a shareable link, clicking on the share button. And then after I click on the share button, I'm going to say get a shareable link. I'm going to